Hello my dear children, welcome once again to this video on Madhu App. Children, in our last class, we discussed the first scene of the story, The Lost Child. Tell me children first, who was the writer of the story, The Lost Child? Very nice, Mulk Raj Anand. Children, today we are going to discuss the second scene of our story, The Lost Child. Okay children? Before going to the second scene, let us recall what we studied in the first scene. The child saw the flowering mustard field which was pale like melting gold. There were a group of dragonflies in search of sweetness from flowers. He saw little insects and worms came out to enjoy sunshine because it was the season, it was the festive of spring season. Okay children? He went to a grove, gathered there raining petals. Next, however, being terrified by the cooing of the doves, the child went round the banyan tree. He was terrified, he was afraid, and so he went round the banyan tree. Okay children? Today we'll discuss second scene of the story The Lost Child. Listen to me carefully while I am having a model reading of this part of the story. Okay children? He went towards the basket where the flowers lay heaped. As they neared the village, the child could see footpaths full of people. He felt at both repelled and fascinated by the confusion of the world he was entering. A sweetmeat seller hawked gulab jamun, rasgulla, barfi, jalebi at the corner of the entrance. The child stayed open-eyed and his mouth watered for the barfi. That was his favorite sweet. I want that barfi, he slowly murmured. But he half knew as he begged that his plea would not be heeded because his parents would say he was greedy. So, without waiting for an answer, he moved on. Next, a flower seller hawked a garland of gulmohar, a garland of gulmohar. The child murmured, I want that garland. But he well knew his parents would refuse to buy him those flowers because they would say that they were cheap. So, without waiting for an answer, he moved on. Next, a man stood holding a pole with yellow, red, green and purple balloons flying from it. Seeing the colorful pole, the child desired to possess them all. But he knew his parents would never buy him the balloons because they would say he was too old to play with such toys. So he walked on farther. Next, a snake charmer stood playing a flute to a snake which coiled itself in a basket. Its head raised in a graceful band like the neck of a swan, like the music stole into its invisible ears. The child went towards the snake charmer, but knowing his parents had forbidden him to hear such coarse music as the snake charmer played, he proceeded farther. There was a roundabout in full swing. Man, woman and children carried away in a whirling motion, shrieked and cried with dizzy laughter. Okay children? Children, there must be some unfamiliar words. Let us discuss the meaning of those unfamiliar words first. Okay children? Heap It means put a lot of something in a pile on something. You may have a look how the flowers are kept on a plate and it is called heaped. Okay children? Next, repel. The meaning is to make somebody feel horrified or disgust. The child was both repelled and fascinated. We'll discuss it. Okay? Next, hawked means vended. As called, different sellers, they hawked different things. The things that they were selling. जेमिति कि जेकोनोसी व्यक्ति जेकोनोसी बिकाली जिनस गुडाकर ना नेकी बिके. जेमिति कि परिबा बिकाली परिबार ना नेकी बिकी थाए. That is called hawked. Stare, it means look constantly. Murmured, spoke in a low voice, in a slow voice. Gunu gunu hei kahiba. Heed means pay attention to pay attention on anything. That is called heed. Then greedy, showing an intense desire for something. जोड़ा कि आमे कहि थाओ लोभ. लोभी, greedy means लोभी आउ greed टा हमर लोभ को बुझाय थाए, which means showing an intense desire for having something. Next, garland. Tell me children, what do you mean by garland? It is a string or chain where different flowers, leaves are tied together. Have a look children. Look. Garland. Phulora malo को कुआ जाए garland. Okay children? So next. Cheap means inexpensive. Inexpensive or low priced, which cost little. Possess means own or have. Having something kichi rakhiba nijo pakhre, that is called possess. Coil means to wind into a series of circles. Have you ever seen a snake children? Snake that has coiled itself केमिति थाए टिके इमेजिन कलो पिला माने से राउंड राउंड हे कि जो थाए that is called coil. अच्छा मस्किटो coil तो पिला देखि थिबो तार शेप टा केमिति थाए राउंड शेप. So that is coil. Coarse, it means rough or harsh. It actually means to the music coarse, which is not pleasant for our ears. Whirling, it means a circular or a round motion. Chakra akara. Shriek, to give a loud high shout. Chitkar kariba, bodo party kariba. Dizzy, it is the feeling as if everything is spinning round. Children, have you ever gone to a fair and set yourself in a what we can say roundabout? Kebe inti jo ramdoli re basicho kemiti kar feelings ase. You will feel that everything around you is moving round and round. So that is dizzy, that feeling. Okay children, now let us discuss the stanzas and understand its meaning. The child went towards the basket where the flowers lay heaped. Before that, the child, he has just left the grove where he came across those raining petals. He was having those petals in his hand and then again he followed the parents. So with that, as he neared the village, the child could see footpaths. Footpaths, how were they? Full of people. So many people, they were gathered just to enjoy the fair, just like the child and his family. The child felt at both repelled and fascinated. Look, it was a kind of mixed feeling. The child, he felt repelled, he felt terrified, he was feared, and at the same time he was fascinated, attracted, interested as he entered the fair, because by the confusion of the world he was entering. This was for the first time probably that the child came across so many people together. so many people moving here and there. He came across those people and such a feeling, a mixed feeling of confused, terrified and happy, attracted came to the mind of the child. Okay, children? Then, as they entered the fair, they found that at the corner of the entrance, at one corner of the entrance, there was a sweetmeat seller. Who was a sweetmeat seller? Look. A sweetmeat seller. A person who was selling different items, different varieties of sweet. He was called a sweetmeat seller. The boy saw a sweetmeat seller at the entrance, at one corner of the entrance. Okay, children. Now, what was the sweetmeat seller doing? Hawked, vended, called for the different items that he was having, such as gulab jamun, rasgulla, barfi, jalebi, different types of sweets that he was selling. He called. The child stared open-eyed and his mouth watered for the barfi. Not for any other sweet, only for barfi. His mouth started watering. Taro patiru lalo bohibaku start hela. He wanted to have that barfi because that was his favorite sweet. Jete bele pilla mane tame tomoro konosi favorite jinso khaiba jinso ku dekho, eta swabhabiko katha je tame ta prai lalaito anubhav karo. Just like the child wanted to have that barfi because it was his favorite sweet. I want that barfi. He slowly murmured. He could not shout. He could not put his demand forth his parents. He murmured, I want that barfi. Next, but he half knew that as he begged that his plea would not be heeded. He half knew, he had an idea that his parents would refuse, would not pay attention to what he pleaded, what he requested for, because his parents would say that he was greedy. He wanted to have everything. He was greedy. That would be the feeling of his parents. So, without waiting for an answer from his parents, he moved on, left the counter of the sweetmeat seller. As he moved on, a flower seller hawked. In a fair, there were so many people who were selling different things. The next seller was the flower seller. The flower seller hawked a garland of gulmohar. Is a type of flower, is a name of a flower. Okay. The child again murmured, I want that garland. He wanted to have that garland also. Se jo phulo malata madhya taku darkar thila. But he well knew that his parents would refuse him, okay, to buy him those flowers. And what would the parents tell? What would they say to the child? They would say they were cheap. They were not so expensive. Why the child wanted such cheap things? So, without waiting for an answer, once again the child moved on. Okay? Next, again one more seller. A man stood holding a pole, maybe a bamboo, with yellow, red, green and purple. What are they? They are different colors. Very nice. The man, he was holding a pole with different colored balloons flying from it. Okay, children, look. A person having a pole. This is the pole having many colored balloons. Quite obvious that it could attract any child's mind, isn't it? So naturally, the child also felt attracted when he saw the man selling those balloons. Okay, now this time the child didn't want to have anyone. Seeing the colorful pole, the child desired to possess them all. He wanted this time all those balloons because he was so attracted by the colorful balloons. Okay, but this time also he well knew his parents who would never buy him the balloons because what they would say he was too old to play with such toys. He was not such a small child who should play with balloons like toys. Okay, so he walked on farther. Moving next, as he moved on, the child saw a snake charmer who stood playing a flute to a snake. And how was the snake? The snake was coiled itself. It was round, coiled itself inside a basket. And as the snake charmer played the flute, the snake responded to the music. It raised its head in a graceful bend like the neck of a swan. Have a look. Look children, how the snake charmer played the music and the snake, which was earlier coiled itself inside the basket, it raised its head. That means it responded to the music played by the snake charmer. Okay, the child went towards the snake charmer, but knowing his parents had forbidden him, warned him, cautioned him, said him no to hear such coarse, such unpleasant, not friendly to ears music, just like the snake charmer played, he once again proceeded further. Next, the child saw there was a roundabout in full swing, in a whole whirling motion, circular motion. There was a roundabout. Ramdoli dekhithibo pilamane. Just like that, men, women and children carried away in whirling motion, whirling again that circular motion, round motion. They were shrieked, they were shouting, they were cried with dizzy laughter. They were happy, they were shouting, they were feeling as if everything around them were moving. Okay children? Children, we discussed the scene 2 of the story The Lost Child. Let us check how far you understood. Let us discuss some question answers. Okay children? Answer the following questions in a word or a phrase. Question 1. How did the child feel as he entered? Very nice, repelled and fascinated. Repelled and fascinated. Okay. Next, who was there at the corner of the entrance? Very nice, the sweetmeat seller. Okay, children. Next, what was the child's favorite sweet? Can you tell? Very good. Barfi. Next, who hawked a garland of gulmohar? A garland of gulmohar. Very nice. The flower seller. Okay. Next, what did the child desire to possess? Very good. All the balloons. Okay, children. Moving next. Next question. Who stood playing a flute to a snake? Tell me. Very nice. The snake charmer. Okay. Next, how was the music the snake charmer played? Very good. Chorus. Okay. Next, how was the roundabout? Very good. In full swing. Okay. Next, how was the footpath? Very good. Full of people. Next question. Who stood holding a pole with different colored balloons? Very good. A man. Okay, children. Next, fill in the blanks using the words given in the bracket. Words are given. You have to choose which word is suitable for which blank. Okay. I want that dash. Tell me, what could be the answer? Very nice. Barfi. Because it was the favorite sweet of the child, isn't it? Next, he went towards the basket where the flowers lay dash. Find out your answer. Very nice. Heaped. Okay, children. His parents would say he was dash. Very good. Greedy. Okay. The snake raised his head in a dash bend. Find out the answer. Very nice. Graceful. Okay. The child dashed to possess all the balloons. Very good. Desired. Okay. There was a roundabout in full dash. Very nice. Swing. Okay, children. Moving next. Write T for true and F for false. Okay. The child felt both repelled and fascinated. True or false? Very nice. True. That means T. Next, a sweetmeat seller hawked a garland of gulmohar. True or false? Very good. False. A flower seller hawked. Okay. Number 3. The child wanted rasgulla. Is it? No. Very good. So, false. He disliked the balloons. True or false? Very good. False. Because he liked balloons. There was a roundabout in full swing. True or false? Very good. True. Next, all cried with dizzy laughter. Very nice. True. The child went towards the snake. True or false? Very nice. It was false. Okay, children? Children, today we discussed the second scene of the story, The Lost Child. We'll stop here today, but before that, let's learn something. If you are not willing to learn, no one can help you. But if you are determined to learn, no one can stop you. With this message, we'll stop today. We'll discuss the rest part of the story in our next class. Okay, children? Thank you. Bye-bye.